It started with a single gunshot, but it would end with a life lost, a child born without a father, and a decision that changed everything in a matter of seconds. On June 12, 2024, in a quiet area outside Athens, Georgia, a 911 call came in that would stop officers in their tracks. A young woman, her voice shaking, barely holding it together, said, "I shot him. I didn't mean to. Please help." 26-year-old Heather McCall wasn't a criminal. She wasn't on the run. She wasn't planning anything violent, at least. That's what she believed. That morning, everything felt like it was already falling apart. Her relationship with Jeremy, the father of her unborn child, was toxic, unstable, and full of emotional scars. They had argued, there were accusations of cheating, there were claims of past abuse, and finally, she blocked him. She wanted it to be over, but Jeremy wasn't done. Later that day, without warning, Jeremy showed up at the house. No call, no permission. He just walked in. Inside the house, tension filled the air instantly. Heather didn't expect him. She didn't want him there. Jeremy demanded his belongings, his social security card, his things. Their voices rose, not screaming, not violent, but tense, sharp, uncomfortable. Heather later said, she was afraid, not because he was attacking her at that moment, but because of what he had done before, and in that fear, she made a decision that would define everything that followed. She walked into the bedroom and grabbed a .45 caliber handgun. She didn't check if it was loaded. She didn't check the chamber. She didn't even realize her finger was on the trigger. She just pointed it at him. "Get out," she said. That was all. No threats. No countdown. Just fear, tension, and a weapon in her hand. And then bang, one shot. That's all it took. Jeremy stumbled. The bullet had passed through his body, a through-and-through gunshot wound. Suddenly, everything changed. Heather dropped the gun instantly. Panic replaced anger. "I didn't mean to shoot him," she cried. She rushed to him, trying to stop the bleeding, trying to keep him breathing. 911 was called within seconds. When officers arrived, they found chaos, Jeremy struggling to breathe, Heather crying, repeating over and over, "Is he going to be okay?" Officers applied pressure to the wound. They tried to stabilize him. "Stay with me, man. Keep breathing." Heather, shaking, said, "I'm pregnant. That's the father of my baby." Paramedics rushed Jeremy to the hospital. For a moment, there was hope. Officers even told Heather, "He's going to be okay." But behind those words, no one knew for sure, because a gunshot to the torso, especially from a .45, is never just a wound. Hours later, the truth came back. Jeremy didn't survive despite all efforts. He died at the hospital when Heather heard the news. Her world collapsed. No. Oh my God. She wasn't just facing loss. She was now facing the consequences of a moment she never meant to happen. Heather was arrested, charged with involuntary manslaughter and reckless conduct, not murder, because even investigators believed this wasn't intentional, but it was still preventable. She later accepted a plea deal, 10 years probation, with 4 years in prison while out on bond. She gave birth to her child, a child who would grow up, never knowing their father. This case isn't just about crime. It's about a single decision, a moment of fear, a lack of awareness, and a weapon used the wrong way. Because here's the truth. A firearm is not a warning tool. The moment you point it at someone, you're one slip, 1 second, one heartbeat, away from changing lives forever. Heather didn't plan to kill anyone, but intention doesn't erase consequence. And now, 2 lives are permanently changed. If this story made you think, share it. Because sometimes, the biggest mistakes aren't made with bad intentions, but in moments we think we're in control.